move my account over here so we can see what's going on. All right, so all right, here we go. So we're in the back end for the nail tech setup. So looking at the full flow chart, very well done with the flow chart. I always recommend like if you want to build something out to do exactly what Steph did here. Excuse me, like Omar's done this before. I do this probably like twice a week. So this is always going to be the best way to create like your product map, right? Because if you can map it out like this, you can show the contact and you can show the customer and you can hand this off to the VA and have it handed off to your team. Like you can hand off to whomever you want and they can build it out. And if it looks intimidating, it's not intimidating. You just go slowly and you just say, when this happens, what do I want to have happen? And then what do I want to have happen next? And how can I connect the two? So if you just take it slow, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you might look at this and be like, wow, this is really complicated. If we zoom in and we look at it, Steph has done a really good job of just keeping this very, very simple. So red is your trigger. She's done a great job with this. Green is the line of progress, meaning like we want them moving forward through the pipeline. Gray are the actions that are automatic, and then green are the things the contact is doing. And then purple looks like purple are going to be the things that are done manually. Is that right, Steph? Right. So what's cool is you have this full process. Look at all the gray and green, and the business has two purple items, just two. And then this is a process that she's trying to figure out how to automate, which is payroll, right? This is a huge time saver because in the previous, before Steph, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, all the gray was probably purple.
Yeah.
Right. So if she has a process like this and you map it out with the client and you're like, okay, and again, you talk about like, how do I map this out? How do I build something? How do I design something like this? It's very simple. When this happens, what do you do? That's it. Just ask the contact. When this happens, what do you do? If you are, this is why it's a collaborative sales conversation. Got a hair in my mouth. But this is a collaborative sales conversation, right? So what's happening is you're just talking to them. And this is where you get buy-in from the end user because they are giving feedback. They are telling you, yes, I do this. I don't do that there. I do it here. Well, sometimes I do it this way versus that way. I flip it here. Sometimes I do it this way, right? And it becomes an actual conversation. It becomes a collaborative conversation. What do you think they're going to have more buy-in to with a product? The product that is exactly what they want, the product that is tailored to a T what they want, that they're giving feedback on and saying, oh, what if we did that? What if we did that? Or the product where you're saying, hello. It's like that guy, that little kid from Up, right? It's like, hello, I am getting my wilderness badge. I have to walk an old person across the street, right? You're going to sit here as I drone on and talk about my product. Nobody cares. Everybody cares about improving their business. If you can show and color code it, imagine you see all of this purple and green, and then it becomes only this purple, right? And now what we're going to do on the call is look at some of the automations that Steph is stuck with. But even if she's just deploying this, look at all the actions she's already automated. So this is the beauty of doing this process with the guinea pig process, right? What happens when you're doing the guinea pig process is this. She's able to develop this product over time. You don't have to go from 0 to 100. It's not going to be feasible in the early stages. So take that pressure off of your shoulders. Look at what Steph's done. This is already a huge improvement to the process. If she can get it perfect, that would be as little purple as possible, right? The only purple in a perfect world, the only purple would be like the actual fulfillment, actually doing the nails, right? But until then, this is a vast improvement, right? When technology advances, the idea is that this becomes more and more grayed out. That's it. That's why when we niche by community because now nail techs are going to come to Steph and say, "Hey, Steph, can we do AI? Can we do AI agents?" Or Steph can say, "Hey, we can do AI agents, and then we can remove that, that, and that, and you actually don't need a sales secretary anymore. So you can start training that person on nails, have more nail techs, no additional cost, and a full system put in place, right?" So anytime you're building something, you need to map it out first. Okay. I don't care what you think you're doing. You need to map it out first. I've never seen somebody say, "We've built a house before. We don't need a blueprint." You'd be like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I've done open heart surgery before. We don't need to plan the surgery." What are you doing? Oh, I don't need to look in your mouth to do a root canal. I've seen it all before. What are you doing? Right? Anytime any other professional would tell you that, you would be highly concerned. So do what Steph did, map out the process, and then go line by line. What can I automate, delegate, and what do they still have to do? And then you repeat that, repeat that, repeat that, repeat that. High level, what's his name? Sean just came out with an update for high level, where now you can do estimates into recurring invoices. They didn't have that the other day. So what do you think I'm going to go do for the lawn care business that we work with? I'm going to go say, hey, remember that manual task? Boop, automated just like that. You think that guy's gonna like doing less work? I'll tell you the answer. It's yes. I can see the future. Okay. It's that you ever seen That's So Raven? That's me. I'm the white balding version of That's So Raven. Okay. So let's look at this process. I was talking with Steph a little bit before you guys hopped on the call. She's done a phenomenal job. And let me ask you, Steph, like as you're going through this, right? Obviously, I know you want to improve. I know you want to do more. Like, does it kind of like has it kind of registered with you like how much you've learned in building this process, or has it just been like, oh, I just got stuck and then I knew I had to go look up how to build it?
I think it's a little bit of both. For sure, I think mapping this out. So when I first started, I was like all over the place. But I think that once I get, once I got this flow mapped out, I was clearer. The client was clearer, and then the figuring out will happen later. So
Mhm. And so when people say like I spoke with a lady today and had a client today, we had like I think it was like a 3.5 hour call, and I was like building out her stuff on the call. And a lot of people tell me this. They're like, I'm so overwhelmed with high level. If you build this out, think about this. Let's say, imagine every block is a new skill. It's not, but let's just say every block is a new skill. That's a finite number of skills you have to learn, right? It's way less because every line is actually an automation. It's just tagging it. It's way less, but that's all you have to do is like, oh, I'm really stuck. Like, what do I need to build? Like, I don't know. There's so much I could do with high level. What does the client want? Map it out with them by just saying, how do you do your business? And then it tells you, oh, I need to do this. I don't know how to do that. YouTube, help.gohello.com. Ask Alec. That's it. It makes it so much easier. If I go, I haven't mastered all of high level. I haven't touched company objects yet. You know why? Because it hasn't come up as a need yet. Does it mean it's not going to be? No. But when it does come up, guess what then going to do? I'm then going to learn it, apply it, and then it'll become part of my arsenal, right? It's the exact same thing. So, um, looking here, so I know the first issue we had was she had current service calendars won't allow her to do multiple services, so we can look at how you would do that stuff. We can do reschedule, cancel, not done. And let me ask you for that one, I don't think you need help, right? Do you know? Okay, good. How do I let customers add products themselves? So this is a double question, and I'm gonna show. I think I have an idea on how we could solve it. Let me go on to the next one. Staff are issued commission on both actual sales and services rendered via package, not done yet. Okay. How do I automate this entire section if the client needs to update details halfway through? Okay. Different staff are paid different commissions. Yep. How do I automate this entire section? Should I manage this with Excel? Okay. And then to change the form instead of text because clients don't take step two. Do you need help with this one?
no,
No.
no, I'm just changing it to a form because right now it's very text based.
You're good. Not done yet. Currently very manual. Is there a way to activate this? Is this customer
Right.
sense?
So
Yes, I've
um,
got something for you there.
okay.
I'll save you the breath because I've got something for you there. Can I get clients to manage this by themselves? Is this the referrals? Yes. How do we tag customer A, B shows future. Okay. Entire retain flow. Not done yet. That's fine. This one's actually pretty easy, so we can look at that. Can I get client to fill up a form and activate this flow herself? And which one is that for the birthday promo?
Like ad hoc promotions. So for example, if she comes out like a boyfriend special for February, right? Can she
Mhm.
like create her own poster and just manage it by herself using some form without touching the system? Because right now I think she really the back end is too complex for her.
Okay, so for this one, is this about adding like specifically a birthday promo or a promo in general?
Like any promo in general. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Birthday
yeah,
promo, yeah.
yeah, I
Birthday
can show you.
promo is activated and automatically.
Yeah, I can show you how to do the promos too. Okay, so now let's go in the back end. Okay, so first things first, let's go look at opportunities and pipelines. Journey nails, customer journey hair, review campaign, referral activity. So what I would do here is I would probably have one customer journey here. I'm not going to delete anything. I'm just going to like show you. So lead appointment scheduled, no show, completed, lost. Lead quote given, appointment booked, appointment completed. Okay, so here's what I would do for your pipeline, right? I would just say sales pipeline. And I'll put this as like, you want me to just do like 1C? Is that fine? Okay, so we'll do 1C. And so here's what I would do. I would say lead. I would say appointment booked, appointment completed, appointment uh canceled, no show. And I always put my loss stages at the bottom. And then I would do something like let's see, appointment completed. Then I would want to do maybe like
Schedule.
I'll probably do old clients. Okay, I can change book to scheduled. Do you prefer scheduled?
It's fine. Yeah.
Leads, so we'll say. So then what I want to do here is I want to say like anyone with an appointment completed tag, what I can do is if they have appointment completed with tag nails, what I can do is I can say I want to retarget them to come back within 2 to 4 weeks, right? So what I can do then is I can follow up, and let's say they don't come back within 4 weeks. I can move them to old clients with a stale tag, the stale opportunities. And so if they're in the stage, the trigger would be stale opportunities in stage appointment completed for more than 31 days. Then we move them to old clients, and then in the old clients, once they get moved there, we have an automation that says, "Hey, come on back, come on back, come on back," right? And it could be old nail clients, right? Or we can even just say like, I'll call it past because we probably don't want to call anybody getting their nails or
So
hair done old.
that's also mapped out is under retain stage. So it's like the criteria the client wants is without appointment for 2 months. So then
Very
we will
nice. So all I would don't the only reason I have a difference is because if you have like nails and hair, you can
yeah,
see
I'll
there's
probably
not a
delete
big
that because
difference.
I'm not using it right now.
Yeah, there's not a big difference. If you just consolidate it and then use tags to identify nails, nails and hair, nails, or hair, right? I'd probably consolidate it that way. And then if they have the nail tag, you want them to come back in 4 weeks. If they have the hair tag, you have an opportunity that says, okay, we want you to come back in 6 months, a year, right? It could even be different tags based on that. Like what kind of, you know, what kind of tag, right? What kind of hairstyle did they have, right? Or just saying like, hey, it's been 31 days, and then we'll add them to the list of promotions, right? So I'd probably go with this sales pipeline, review request. Yep, that's good. Good. And then um, is this for like the packages?
Yeah, so that is basically for the commission calculation. So I kind of put it into the pipeline if flexi package is chosen, and this then you plug into the activity log so that they can export it later.
So walk me through the package a little bit. Like walk me through the pricing or the well let me give you context 'cause I don't want to take too long. In my mind, if I have like I wouldn't want to have a credit with Nail. I would say either A, you're paying up front, or B, you're paying a membership to where you can come in and get like discounted because you've committed to a year, or you're in the referral program. If you're in the referral program, we knock off 5% at checkout, right? Right, things like that.
Okay. Um, so let me, if you can, let me share my screen so I can walk you through the flow real quick.
Yeah.
So if you look at the system, right? So after a client has finished a appointment, right? Essentially the staff submits the bill via the POS, right? Lead connector tool.
Mhm.
So they have to decide if it's a one-off or it's a package. It's part of if the client is using a package. So one-off could be like they just, they're walk-ins, then they have no package, or they
Right,
are
right.
actually buying a package. right? And for the
Yeah.
package, there are a couple. So if they're using one-off, it's very straightforward. But if they're using their package, then they will need to check if it's a credit package or is it a session package, right? A credit package means that if let's say they buy $1,000 upfront and every single sale or rather every single activity that happens after have like 10, 15%, 20% off. Or
Yeah.
if they buy sessions, means they buy like eight eight sessions of nails for a plus
Hmm.
one. They have nine for a price of eight, essentially.
Hmm.
So if they have the credit balance, if they buy but a credit package, then the credit balance decreases. If they buy the session package, then the session package decreases. It, yeah. And right now they need the client to endorse outside or some way to endorse it so that the client agrees that they have completed this and then
Hmm.
it goes into the flow again.
Do you? I'm not familiar in with that space as much. I go with my wife a lot, but I personally have not heard of like a credit package outside of gift cards, like where they will do like a gift card. Um,
No, so basically it's just like I'm gonna pay $500 upfront, and every other like every time I come in, every single item that I do is always 10% off. It's always 15% off.
okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that before. Have you seen other people doing that?
It's quite common. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm very ignorant with the nail space. So, um, what I would say for something like the session packages, like if I'm looking at that one, like the credit package, that might be something where you're using some kind of like processing software. Like I don't know if Stripe can do it, but that would be where it's like you have some kind of a balance accrued, right? And then it's like depleting down to zero or being transferred over. So I would want to look into like what the nail tech software is for that. For your like X amount of sessions, what you could do is you could have like your recurring sessions, your recurring appointments, and your recurring appointments could be like how many do you want to go up to, and you could cap it at eight because I think that's the cap that you have on High Level's calendar, where you can have it capped out at eight. But the credit one that'd be probably pretty tricky to do in High Level. Other than going to their notes and saying like, oh, like they paid this much, like reducing it. That'd be the only thing I could really see happening. But even then, I'd be like,
I
I
use
wouldn't.
the I use the so right now what I've done was I use the value of the opportunity because when once they update the value of the POS, right, the
Hmm.
value of the invoice, it goes into uh the custom value, which it minus off the custom value right
Yeah,
now.
you can subtract it as a custom value in the
Yeah.
opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I did for now.
I think that's a good. I think that's going to be the best workaround for right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not perfect because the client does not sign off. As in, I don't know how to implement that setup right now.
the client signing off on which part. So yeah,
Because
yeah.
the client must sign off on the package that is being utilized. They don't want people to it's just basically to protect themselves and to make sure that, hey, we did render the service to you and you have confirmed it by signing it or authorizing it somehow. Yeah.
Well, the customer can lie with that. I probably wouldn't ask them to confirm it. I would probably just ask them to confirm booking the appointment and then reducing the amount, the balance.
No, because it's on the spot, right? When the POS, when a payment is being made, and then they write it down on a piece of paper on their package card, and it's okay. I've done one, two, three service for you, and now your balance is down to $200. Please sign up. So please sign up. So it's on the spot itself before they leave the spot right now.
What about their what's their current POS system that they can use? Because they can manually put in the number. They're not using any.
They don't have any POS. The current POS system is basically a white elephant in their, and right now they're all pen and paper. Like
Okay.
literally like stacks of books of
Yeah.
their like for the package kind. Right now, this is like an upgrade for them. If
Oh,
I can,
wow. It
yeah.
sounds like even just the high level mobile app would be beneficial for them, or even like a Square integration, like just the Square processing, because you can just punch in the number, turn the screen around, and say, "Hey, sign off on this."
Yeah, essentially. So even by doing this itself, right now they were doing everything like manually, and it saved them so much time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. They probably think you're like a goddess over there.
Yeah, the client just paid me. Like I was telling one, my client was just paid me upfront without me asking. I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's how you know they're happy. They're like, keep this lady happy.
Yeah.
I would want to look at, what kind of payment, even like a WooCommerce integration. And I think that kind of ties into like the other statement that I was making. So let me share this part. Like WooCommerce, Square, some kind of third-party POS system that can work with the balances. But even for this question you had over here, which was how do I like the current service calendar with the letting the customer and add the products themselves. I would maybe even look at not necessarily doing a calendar if you're not a fan of how that calendar system works, because the calendar you have set up is still nice. You're just asking people to like book here and then book here, which I don't think is as big a pain point as I think you might think it is. And I could be wrong, but I know like in the past, that's always what I've done. Is always been like, okay, let me book like a session here, and then I book a session here for this person if they're doing different things. So I don't think it's too big of an issue. If you're really not a fan of it, what you could do is you could have the products as products themselves. So like instead of service appointments, you could have them as product themselves, and then you can have that trigger into the calendar, like setting time aside, or maybe even just having a task to book that time out for the user. But I think right now what you have is the best option. The service calendar, how you have it, that might be something where as high levels calendar upgrades, you could change it, or you could look at maybe integrating a different platform. But I think for what you have now, that's going to be the best option. So if you're going like,
Yeah. Service menu.
oh no, am I
Just
the wrong one? Yeah.
yeah.
So like if I'm coming in here and I'm saying, okay, let's say I'm booking man's haircut, right? Got a little bit of hair left, let's chop it off. And I do just me. If I want to add service, could I not come over here and add another one? And then I could book like, okay, let me book, lash extension. I don't know. My wife doesn't need that actually. Let me see. Maybe hydrating facial she wants to do. Is that let me see, code to continue. No, let me not do that. I don't want to click confirm and mess it up.
Yeah, no worries. You can just go ahead. It's fine.
And then did I add it? So this would be the men's haircut only.
We choose somewhere like way in the future that I can
Oh, okay,
deliver.
okay. And then I put in my information, schedule it. Yeah, and then you can schedule another one for the I think that I would keep it how this is for right now.
Yeah.
Because they're still able to book that time, and then I can go back. I can schedule that time for me, and then I can go and schedule that same exact time for my wife or
Yeah, anyway,
my.
the I mean, that's not a big issue. It's just a concern that I didn't raise this to the client yet, but I think that's something they can manually override for now. It's not going to be a big issue.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't see that being an issue because when I go to book, like if my wife and I were going to book something like a massage or I don't know salon or whatever, like that's how most of them have it, and she's never. I wouldn't have that be an issue. The fact that you set up the service counters the way you did, I think that's good. I think that's really nice actually. And you just want do you have your follow-up built in for that?
not yet. Yeah, because they wanted me to do other things, so I had to deprioritize that.
Yeah. I would, me personally, I would consider these two done, and I would want to make sure that you have your nurturing put together.
Mm. They are not even sending the client the booking link right now. So they want to do it post Chinese New Year, which is like February. So, and that's why I'm holding off for a while.
I would have your follow-up put in place, and what you can
Yeah,
do is, let me see, because they can pick this service from the calendar. Is that how you have it set up?
they can, but they're not doing it right now. Client is manually
Yeah,
selecting.
yeah. I'm asking how you have it set up. Like, do you have it set up to where if I go to like the men's perm, I can pick this service from here?
Yeah,
Yep.
essentially.
So then on your on their website, what you could do is like you don't have to release it yet, but you can set it up for them to see it as a preview link. Like don't attach it to the domain, and you could just
Mhm.
say like, what do you want to get done today? It can be like haircut, lash, men's women haircut, right? And then when they pick it, then it goes to the funnel where it's like, oh, like select your services, and then you can just duplicate that page and swap out all of your different calendars. That would be a huge upgrade from what they have now because all they'd have to do is go in and say, "Oh, here's what the client customer is just saying, here's what I want to use, here's what I want to pick." Like they can do it all right there, pretty easy, book it themselves without having to speak to anybody. I mean, I think you actually have this set up really nicely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's actually very nicely. You just need your confirmation stuff. So like, let's say, is this one going to be for all the men's haircut?
Hmm.
So you can come in here and like I'll show you just how simple it is. You just turn these on for your email, or you go and do an SMS, and then for your reminder, let's say you're only doing email, you can enable this, and then let me see, you can add
Thing is,
multiple.
nothing is done by email on my end. It's all by WhatsApp.
Oh, it's all by WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If for those of you who are using this, what you would do is you can do like a reminder, enable it, and then you can pop this open, click, pop it open, and then you can just add different ones. So I could say like 1 day out, 2 hours out, 10 minutes out, right? But I'm going to turn that off because you don't want to use it. Yeah, I think you have this actually really nicely done. I wouldn't change this at all. If you brought this to me, like think about it, if you brought this to me fully set up and you're like, oh, we have all this calendar already, it's put into the website because we've standardized, we snapshotted the whole thing, and now all we have to do is just change the availability, the details, and who's assigned to it. Like, think about how much faster you can move versus, I mean, how long did that probably take you to set up? Probably took you a couple days at least. Yeah. Think about how much faster you can move with the next nail tech, right? Or the
Yeah.
next lash tech. Let me see here. Staff are issued commission. Okay, so for the commission, what I would assume is if you have a contact assigned to that user, then you can, like you said, like have that contact assigned to the user. What you could do is, and this kind of comes into here for salary calculation, and you had this question asked here, you could push this information to a Google Sheet. And so then it would be like contact name, username, user being the staff, total amount paid. And then all they have to do is on the right is just whatever their commission rate basis is, right? Let's say it's like 10% commission. You would just do equals point or equals selected cell times point one, drag it all the way down, and you've got all your commission by name.
That's what I thought also how I'm gonna set this up. I was thinking if we can do and go high level. I don't think so, right?
The only way I think you would be able to do it in high level specifically, honestly, no, because it's not going to have that.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, I think exporting it to a sheet would be your best idea. I think this is a really. When I saw this, I was like, exactly. You're reading my mind. This is exactly what I would do. Because then in the sheet you can do your different commissions, right?
Yeah.
Now, one
Is there
thing
a
you
way
could,
to automate the export of the reports? For example, like in Go High
yeah,
Level.
yes. So you would go reporting. Um, so it looks like you would have to upgrade your account or get another or have this here. But you would basically just do new report and then you can choose the frequency of it going out to the main business owner, the agency owner account. So I can't
To
do it
our
here.
emails?
What's that?
It will be sent to our email or like
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up a dummy account real quick. Hang on. Can you see this? So we do like new report, template library is not here, existing is not here. So let's say I just do select, and then the import would be from whatever the dashboard is, right? So you can come in here to your dashboard and you can basically just customize this to show whatever. So you can have your opportunity status, your value, your conversion rate, your pipeline, stage distribution, tasks, manual actions, lead source report. You can have all this information. And then you would go to your reporting, you would select, and you can reorganize that. Let's say you just do select. You can format it, cover page. You can have all the different information you want to put there. So you can show all the context, all the won opportunities, all the lost opportunities. You can show any of this information really. If you're doing more of an email campaign, you can show that there. Their calls or conversations. Here's some general stuff. So what's cool with the general stuff is you can show the Google Analytics, Facebook ad report, the sales efficiency report, which can show like the efficiency of your system if you're using like Closebot or something. And then I think they had, yeah, here's Google Business Profile. So this is really cool because a lot of people will pay software to have like these GBP reports. You can just have this in your report, right? And then you can send or schedule it. And you can say, do I want to send it out daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually? Monthly is pretty sweet. Unless they're high volume, then you can move it to weekly. And you can pick what day of the month, right? So let's say you want to send it on like the first day of the month for the last month, right? And you can compare that to year before or the previous month. I like doing year before personally because if you know anything about like predictions, like when people try to predict like your demand or whatever, usually they're looking at like this time last year, where were we, right? So for example, like Q4, the beginning of Q4 is always like the busy buy season, but the end of Q4 is always a very slow season, right? Like nobody wants to work end of December. Nobody's buying end of December, right? Buying up until Christmas as a B2C, but with your B2B stuff, they're usually not buying in December. Usually it's like October, November, and then it's going to pick back up late spring or early spring, right? And that's going to change different on the different industries, right? Maybe nail tech see a huge spike during the holiday seasons because people are coming home back to their original nail salon, right? So, for example, so I would probably do like a year before kind of thing from email, and then subject line you could put here's your report, right? So you could say here's last month's reports from, and then you would put, Bellix Labs, right? And then you could select them as the recipient, being the agency owner, and you can have this optional message to say, hey, here's the breakdown of everything that happened last month. If you have any questions, let me know. You know, enjoy, right? And you can send that out as often as you want, as you can just see. But these are pretty cool. Like I would obviously rename everything and make it branded, but yeah, you can have a lot of fun with it there. And then you can standardize that too. So if you know all the metrics that nail salons want to track, you can put that in there. So like new reviews is going to be big, referrals, and I'll cover the referrals aspect with you. But yeah, I would definitely have reporting in there. So let's come over and look at for different or staff are paid different commissions. I think that would be the easiest way to kick them out to a sheet.
Yeah.
And then in the sheet too, like for your dashboard, uh, I don't know if I have access to the edit it. No, but in
You
your
can.
dashboard, you can actually do an iframe and import your sheet, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. I don't think it's an actual iframe. I think it's actually embedding it. Let me go back and pull up my sandbox again. So I'm in the dashboard, edit, add widget. Can I do a sheet? I thought I could do a sheet. So you can embed. Yeah,
Mhm.
Google Sheets. You see it? I don't know if you can you see it popped up on your side?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can.
yeah. Yeah, you can do a Google Sheet. And then that could be a part of your report because it's importing from that dashboard.
Nice. Okay.
And so you can even have it going to one sheet. This is what I did. I automated something for a fintech company where all we did was like export all of these like questions from their collections department into a sheet, and then the sheet had pre-established like already put in their formulas. So it's always going to the same spots, and then the last formula would just be, let's say the commission rate structure, right? Or what you do is you would have the username and then the job, and then you would import that into another tab. And in that tab, it would say, "Oh, all of the values." There's a formula you can use for it, basically saying like, if this row or column is showing Steph, then import it. And then all the values with Steph imported brings over the currency, and then it has her commission rate. So I can go to Steph's tab and it shows her numbers for the month of January, her commission rate. I can go to Bob's tab, Bob's numbers for January, and Bob's commission rate. And the only thing you have to change on that is just like filtering out what month it is. And I did that with a sheet and a Slack automation. Like it was very, very uncomplicated. But it tracks data that they'd have to either A, track manually, or B, they'd never had it beforehand. So what's funny is this was like a huge like fintech company, and I was running the whole automation off of Slack, free Slack automations and a sheet. Like, and that was the whole thing. We ran like a ton of automations off that and a ton of reports off that. Um, I would basically just like in your report, I'd put in your report like that message. I just put something like, "Hey, go ahead and check your sheet. You should be ready to, update your calculations and figure out what you need to pay your team." Same thing with what you have here with your values here. You can just throw that into a sheet with just a very simple P&L formula. And Sheets has templates that have P&L in there. There's a lot of YouTube videos on that too.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with Excel, so it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I love Sheets.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Uh, we can do a review of referral one. That'd be pretty cool. We could have a lot of fun with that. Yeah, so like leading up to the review referral, I think you know what to do for the rest of this. Like I think you definitely have more than I thought you were gonna have. So I'm impressed. Like I love it. I would recommend like just to nag on you a little bit, I would definitely recommend like cleaning this
Organizing.
up. Yeah, I would clean this up because it looks a little crazy. But when you organize it, what I do for my automation, like to clean up my automation, it's very simple. Folder corresponds with pipeline. That's it. Because
Yeah.
look at how beautiful this is, right? This is beautifully designed. Very well done. If more people did this, there would be fewer people saying, "I don't know what to build and I don't know what to design." Like Steph, did you come up with this or did you ask your client and they walked you through their process?
Their process was mainly like the second stage mainly, and maybe ad hoc campaigns, but sometimes that's it. The rest was non-existent because they just didn't have time. Yeah.
But how did you know what they wanted to do?
I ask questions.
That's it. That's it. And it's like it's cool because you turn this around and they go, "Wow, we love it. We're gonna pay you without you asking. We love it." And you're like, "I just built what you wanted. Like I just built what you told me you do anyway." That's the beauty of doing this, right? But this is very well done. I think you have everything. I think you know what you need to do for one, two, three, and we can get into the reviews referrals part.
Yeah.
And retain too. Reviews, referrals, retain. Yeah. I like retain. I was saying reviews, referrals, return, same thing. Basically, come on back. We love to have you.
Yeah.
So, let me ask, how are you marking a job complete? Are you marking it as paid or status is showed in the appointment?
Yeah. So right now, manually, the staff have to complete manually, which is show, content
Mhm.
show. But in future, once the POS system is completed, then it will automatically update the pipeline, the opportunity.
Beautiful. Which means let's go to your review referral. Um, I'm not going to mess with these because it looks like you're using them.
Yeah.
So what you can do here, if you just want, and let me ask, they just want to ask everybody for a review. They don't want to do any gating just because of
Uh,
the.
there is a bit of gating. So
Okay.
1, 2, 3 goes to like just reply what was your what can we do to better. Basically, I followed what. section, and 4 and 5 goes to Google.
Okay. Just be careful with that because they might flag you for gating if they're saying like, oh, I left a negative review and they didn't leave me a review. So that's why I usually do it here. If they're not technical enough, like I understand that. What I would do, are you using these?
No.
So this one, let me show you with this one because you ask here, um, clients don't take step two. Are you trying? What is step two here? Walk me through that really quick.
So there are two-step questions. One is, are you happy? Like 1, 2, 3, rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a couple of them do like say, give me a number, and then it will trigger another response. Okay, to click a link to the Google Sheet. So,
Mhm.
sorry, the Google review. They do the number, but they don't give me the review.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what you could do, so this is working, right? So when they are leaving a review, they are being moved to the left review stage, it looks like, because it's finding the contact. So we can go here, see all this. Okay, so it's not pulling their name. Okay, okay. So this is
yeah.
good. So this probably means that they weren't in the system beforehand because there wasn't a contact to find. Let's go to the execution
They
log.
are. It's just that I think the setup is not
Y-
working.
Yeah, look, this is your error. Look, contact was not found. So they're most likely were not in they tried to leave a review and they just weren't in the system yet.
Mm.
So you could add a contact created. Let's go to the pipeline. Yeah, so you have, yeah, look at the numbers coming in. That's why they're not,
Yeah, so there are a couple of them who left a review, but I can't seem to map them to the, you
yeah.
know,
Yeah, because look at the last name.
yeah, the client wanted it that way because she wanted to see the member, their membership number on, upfront without clicking in. So I had to do that.
So what I would do instead is what is that number? Is that like their area code?
Their membership number if they have a member.
Okay, so what I would do instead is where you have like a client, um, is this where they're coming in?
Yeah. So this is basically another company that they were working with before. So I wanted to tag to differentiate like what value I brought and what this company has brought.
Yeah, very smart. Very, very smart. What I'm looking for is where you're adding them into that pipeline.
Which partner? The reviews.
The no, just in the new lead pipeline.
The new lead pipeline is when they they talk to the client through WhatsApp. So it becomes a new lead, a new opportunity as well.
Okay, where do you have that automation?
They
Basically, what I would tell you is right now you have the last name being the membership number. I would change the opportunity to be client first name and then the custom field membership number. Because the reason you're not able to track for promotions is that you're putting their membership number as their last name. You want their opportunity to be an actual, like, let me pull up a random one. Okay, great, blank. So with your update opportunity, you want to do this. In pipeline, let's say sales pipeline, right? New lead, right? So you would want to do for the opportunity name, you would want to do contact first name and then this little slash, and then you would want to do a custom field that has like, the membership number like this, right?
Mhm.
Because then their last name can be their actual last name. The issue is that otherwise, if you don't have that matching, then it's not going to match when you bring them in for a review or for a promotion. It's not going to track who it is. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
but the thing is, if the client is trying to reach out to them, so that was like priority for the client when they go to conversations, or rather on they want it to match with their WhatsApp, how they see the customer. So having their first name and their membership number, the full name and the membership number, it's important to them.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. You can change how that's viewed. Are you talking about in this tab?
You mean no, it's under conversations. So if you go to conversations, they want the first thing that they see is like Monica 8812, like that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. They want to see the number there in their context, matching their WhatsApp.
Okay, okay. So,
Because it becomes crazy. You look at the first one with the emoji, WhatsApp actually pulls out like their current contact
okay, I'm
name.
with you now.
Yeah.
I get it now. So then what we could do is what you'd want to do is you'd want to like assign this together. So I would probably say, let me do another find contact because this one's not working for that reason.
Yeah.
I'd want to say something like,
Maybe their business name because that means their full name. I have a custom field called full name or something.
what about first name? Would first name work? Might be too
Full
many.
name.
You said full?
Their full name is wait, hang on, let me check.
Because right now, if the last name is that phone number, then it won't work. What we could do is we could do full name. Wait, we could do this. Wait, we could do oh, those are custom values. Yeah, that won't work. Because right now what you have is you have reputation, reviewer name, and the name is not matching. So what we could do is we could do, let's see, what about email? Do they have WhatsApp as an option? Of course not.
No emails,
No emails.
only contacts.
What is so they it's always just a WhatsApp number?
Yeah.
And
So
does
their
the WhatsApp
first
number go in
name,
the phone? Does it go in the phone number?
yeah.
Oh, well, we could just do that then.
But Google My Business, do they pull out their contact and match the number accordingly?
Let me see. Name, rating, comment, source, spam. Um, because this one has email. Let me see if I remove that. Hmm. Even this says reviewer name, because that's what I had it matched if they're using phone or um email, because they'd leave a review and it would match their name. What if we just did? Oh,
You can
what?
just use first name because first name I've actually merged the first name and the last name into first name's field.
That's what I was just about to say. What if we just did this because the first name will pick up their full review name, which your first name has their full name, right?
Yeah,
Like it'd be like Alec Roy first name, and then last name would be membership number 15.
yeah.
We can try that and see if that works. What you can do for the referral part is you can run promotions that would be something like you would create a referral form and you would say like, hey, if you send us three of your friends' names, or even just one, like if you just send us one name of a friend that you would want to come with you, we'll send you both a 15% coupon, like 15% off coupon, right? And then if they submit the form, you can add a tag that says 15% off. So when they come into the office, you can see, okay, they have a 15% off. It can be in the system, 15% off. Or you could do a freebie, like hey, if you send us one person, you'll get ABC free with your next manicure or next whatever. But what I do for the referrals is if you want it automated, just create a form or a survey and just say, hey, if you send us one person's information, first name, last name, phone number, even if they don't come into the shop, right? We will send you a 15% off coupon. So then when they submit that information, you're automatically sending them a 5 or 10% or 15% off code.
I was thinking more like a affiliate journey way where they just give the hey, dear so and so, here's the current promotion. Click this link to book your appointment, something like that. Then we can tag it to the original, so original customer A basically. Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
what you
from
could do is like let's say let me go use like a blank one. So let's say you create the form. The form is like, who do you want to send this information to, right? Like, give us one person's information, right? So what they can do is they put out like the name and the email, and then you can have, add tag. It's gonna be contact tag. Can't stand this little whatever this is. So you can do add contact tag, and you can put like 15% off referral um, discount, right? I'm not gonna do it now, but you could add that. And then you could have right after that, you could have an email or SMS or WhatsApp that basically just says, hey, like we got your referral. Thank you for submitting the form. Here's a 15% coupon on us. So that'd be like automation number one. And then automation number two would be when you get that new maybe you could create a contact or you can have this form submitted. You can pull the information. When you have that new information come in, they can create a new contact and then you can email them. So you could do something like that. You could say, with your referral, you could say when you submit this form, you can even just do that. Like, hey, if you submit form, right? So we'd be like form, survey, whatever. Then it could even forward them maybe an email that says, hey, here's a private link. You can forward this private link to your friend and they get a discount too. So you just got a 15% discount. And then we're going to email you a link, forward this to your friends, and anybody you send gets a 15% discount with this. So it could be something like that as well. So for example, here's one you could do, right? So you could do just to map it out for you. You could say opportunity changed. I think it needs pipeline change. Sorry. Golly. So let's say we do pipeline change, right? Let's say you have a sales pipeline and let's put stage. So let's say appointment's been completed, right? So they had their experience, right? Then what you could do is you could say, um, email or sorry, I keep saying email, WhatsApp, and you could WhatsApp them the form of the survey and you could just say, hey, here's a private, not even a survey, just a private link, right? Hey, here's a link. If you send this link to your friends and they book, they're going to get 15% off, right? So you could say, not only could you WhatsApp them a link, a funnel where it's just like, hey, 15% off. You can even put in there like, hey, if you see this, like your friend sent this to you, this is a private whatever, maybe forward the email to
I mean, I have
whoever
to
wants it.
create a private link for every single customer.
No, no. All you would do is once they're sending that information out, as soon as you send that to them, I would just add the tag. And you want to talk about bringing people back, right? The retain flow.
Mhm.
I would just right away say, hey, you came, hope you had a good time. Here's a private link you send to whoever you want, or here's just a link in general. It's just one link that's not tagged to anybody. Here's a link. You send this to whoever you want. It has to come from you, and they're gonna get a 15% off. So now they look good to their friends. Oh, come, we had a good time. Here's a discount code, right? And then you can have in that same email or same WhatsApp message, the next time you come back, 15% off. And then that can be how you're trying to bring them back in. Because it's going to be cheaper to give them that 15% off than it will be to get a new client. Or 5% or 10% or 50%, whatever you want to do. So for example, if I do WhatsApp, uh, I guess that one's going to require a template. Do they all require templates for WhatsApp?
No, no, you just choose SMS instead.
Okay, so we'll do SMS.
Yeah.
So you would just say like, hey, contact, first name, so happy. Maybe the trigger is like a new automation or a new review, but let's just say they came in, right? We enjoyed doing, service, working with you, seeing you today, whatever you want to say, right? Um, here's a, you know what? Next time you come in, we're going to give you a 15% off coupon to, thank you for repeat business, right? Yeah, I saw that one too. Give you 15% off coupon to thank you for your business. And then you could even say like, let's say we save this and then we do another SMS. I'll do like a wait so it looks like I want it to be in order. I can do another SMS that says, almost forgot. If you've something like, here's a link for 15 or even 10% off of all of our packages, you can send to your friends. Uh, they only get this discount when they use the link you share. So now they're getting 15% off to come back. And they're like, oh, and if you want to bring somebody with you, here's like a 10% off coupon that you can book through, right? And so you can have the same calendar, like maybe they're coming through a different form and you can tag them that way. But I would just do like SMS, here you go. By the way, here's a private link. And then it's just basically just whatever link, right? A duplicate of your funnel with a link. And what you can do to make sure they don't like take advantage of you is they could say, you do an if else. And the if else would basically be like new customer. And it would be a contact tag. Let me see, tags. And then let's just say I'm gonna put it's not empty, but let's just say the tag is blank, right? And then I would duplicate this and I would say return, right? This way we're not doing it every time they come in. We'll say tag is empty, right? Save. And so then what I could do is I could say, okay, if tag is empty, I can basically say, okay, they're gonna get this all right. And then at the end, I can add a tag. I keep saying add. It's contact tag. And I can add a tag that says return customer, right? So now if they don't have return customer tag, they're going to go through and get welcomed. Like, oh, it's your first time. We had so much coming. Like, we want you to come back. Here's a discount. Oh, here's a discount you give other people. And then we're going to add this tag, right? Now, if they come back through this automation because they've come back to work with you, the condition is going to see, okay, that tag is there. So let's move them down this path instead. So we're not going to message them like it's their first time coming. Does that
Mm.
make sense?
Yeah.
And what's cool is you can do this. Like, if you really want to do it, you could do it with like, you could repeat this and you could say first time, second time, third time. And then the automation looks like somebody actively took the time to reach out and say, hey, we're so happy you came for the first time. We want you to come on back. And then the second time, hey, we hope you liked coming both times. If you want to invite a friend, here's a discount code, right? So maybe the first time they come in, it's like, hey, here's 15% off if you come back. The second time they come in, hey, if you come back, we'll give you and your friend 10% off. The third time they come back, we're like, hey, have you considered getting a membership? Like, it's going to be much cheaper if you do it that way. And then the fourth time they come back, they're just in the system, right? But that is what like will actively make people feel like, oh wow, like they took the time to reach out to me and the business owner did nothing, right?
Yeah.
So you could do that. That's what I would recommend. And then I know you're talking about the reward program. So I'll show you like high level, like you said, high level is coming out with their own version. I'll just get rid of that. So let's say you want to do like a referral program. What you could do is you could have it to where you can add points. So have you seen this where it's like I forget what is it? Is it points? Let me see if I can find it. It's basically where you can like add these like scores maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Engagement
it's
scores. On top.
what's that?
Engagement scores.
Yeah. So you could do engagement scores and you could basically like add points and until they get to like maybe 10 and then when they get to 10 points you can say, "Oh, you get like a free reward or something like that." So every time they come in, they're getting 1 point.
Mm.
You could look at it like that. I don't know if yeah, and then the trigger would be once they hit 10, greater than or equal to 10, then they get an email saying, "Hey, you've come back 10 times. You come back 5 times. You come back 3 times. Like here's ABC free." And then right after this is the trigger, you could then do an SMS, and you would say freebie, right? Obviously put a message, right? But then right after that, you could modify contact engagement score and subtract however many points. So they're going back to zero. Not back to zero, but they're going back 10 because they got the freebie email, right? So that way, if they're getting like 11, 12, 13, 14 points, it'll still go. You're just knocking them down 10. So that's like a really simple way to have like some kind of a referral program. Every time they're coming in, give them a point. They submit the referral program, like a referral form to give more people there, give them another point, right? So you can do different things to like incentivize them for points. And then once that contact engagement score hits a certain threshold, you can give them a ton of points. You could even say like contact engagement score, you can do like programs. So you could do like, hey, when you hit 10, you get this. When you hit 20, you get this. When you hit 50, you get this. When you get 100, we're going to give you a free A, B, and C. And then you don't have to delete any points. Or maybe once they hit the 100, then maybe it resets because that's like the pinnacle of what you're giving them, right?
Is there a way to pull out that engagements or activity log? Like,
That's a good question. Let's find out. What I will say is if there's not a way, all I would do is add a note to the contact. And then once they hit 10 points, I would create an internal notification that says, hey, so and so has reached 10 points, right?
mm,
I don't know if there's a way we could look at it, but I've never looked at that question before. Let me see. Association. So you could probably use associations for your I think this is for companies. I think people are talking about how you can use this for referrals. I've not seen that yet, but I would assume under activity. Unless somebody knows different. Yeah, I would assume under activity, but worst case, I would create an automation for a note. Like every time they're getting a point, I'm giving them a note saying, "Hey, we've added a point." But that's what I would do in the meantime for your referral program. Once they get to a certain amount of every time a status is shown as appointment showed, give them a point. Once they hit 10, here you go. 5, here you go. 20, here you go. Or everything, right? 5, here's a 5% discount. 10, here's a 30% discount. 50, here's a 50% discount. 100, we're going to give you whatever you want for free because you've been here. You're making us very rich. I don't know. Let me see here. So for your promotions, what you could then do is like you can go to there's a few different ways you can do it. Let's say we go to just contacts and you can filter this out. And this is how you create your smart list for email campaigns. But you can do like, okay, let me look at, for example, everybody in a certain stage or everybody who's in a stale stage, trying to bring them back, or everybody within a certain age, right? Membership, if they have some kind of a member, if they're in a membership piece, if they come from a certain source, everybody who has a certain custom field, right? So maybe they have like a certain type of hair color. I don't know. uh, Maybe they have a membership number, right? It's just present, right? Is not empty. So now everybody who's a membership, I can then click apply, and then I can add more context. Either they have to have this or that, and then I can save this as a smart list, and then you can go and do your campaigns based on that. Now, let's say you want to do like a WhatsApp campaign. What you would do is you would create the automation. So you have to create your WhatsApp templates, create your automation, and then you go to contacts, more filters. Let's say we want to do like the membership, right? Is not empty, apply. I'm not going to create a smart list because I don't want to mess up your thing. I would then click here because now we have everybody, right? So let's say I want to select all 484 people, right, who have a membership. And all I would do is go to add to automation and I would add them to, I don't want to go through and mess you up, but I would just add them to the automation that has the WhatsApp campaign.
yeah.
And I would just run it like that.
Mhm. It's really good. I did that already, and
Perfect.
um, client had great results.
Yeah. I think you have a lot of this down. Like I was definitely expecting a lot of this to be like messed up. Not because You're not good at this, but I don't think I realized like how good you are at this. Like this is very good.
Oh,
I'm gonna take all credit and just say I'm such a good teacher, right? That's what I'm gonna say. I'm such
thanks.
I'm gonna say it's all me, right? I'm gonna take all credit. No, but seriously, this is really, really good.
Yeah.
I was expecting to have to build it all out. I have a video where I did build out a full agency account. So for anybody watching, like, don't worry, I got that coming out. It's like right now it's a 4 hour video, so I'm gonna go back and trim out all the dead space, but it's a longer video. But no, I mean, what you
Yeah.
have here is nice.
I mean, you did send me send Omar my way, so he was also really very instrumental to me doing this. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
you did it. That's the piece I tell people. I'm like, if we look at this, right? Um, you guys can see my screen. Let me do a different screen. Hang on. And then I'll just open up for questions because this is pretty good. But if you look at this, right? This is in my opinion, this is the part that would really just fix a lot of the people's problems, right? Like you map this out, it tells you what to do. Like all these sticky notes of like, oh, like you guys want to see what true entrepreneurship is? It's this. This is being an entrepreneur. Purple, if you guys don't know, purple means it's a manual task that the client has to do manually. So Steph is then saying, how can I do A, B, and C? She's not saying, oh, I can't do it. Womp womp. She's saying, how can I do this? And she's thinking, well, could I do this with Excel? Could I track it with Excel? Oh, okay. Like, and then she's asking, like, hey, Alec, could I track it with Excel? And it makes me have the easiest night ever because I just say, it's a great idea. And then she's going to go to build it and she's going to ask herself, how would I build it? And she's going to do one of three things. She's going to hop on YouTube, she's going to hop on ChatGPT, or she's going to come DM Alec. That's it. And I might not look like it, but I got my automation started with Sheets, Slack and Sheets. That's where I started my automations. Like this is entrepreneurship right here. How look at this question. How do I automate this? If Steph were weak, I know she's not because I've been speaking with her for a while now. If Steph were weak-minded, she would just say, "Oh, I don't know how to do this." No, she's like, "How do I do this?" Go read Peter Thiel's 0 to 1, right? He said it's my favorite. I can't stand that book because I think it's like very vague. But he has one piece from the book that I absolutely love, and that question is how. It's just how do I do this?
Is he frozen?
Yeah,
He's frozen.
we're losing him.
Omar, take over.
I think we're back. All right, we're back. Yeah, Zoom
Yeah.
crashed on me. Just been doing that a few times today.
Give us five
We-
seconds to make fun of you.
Good, good. Don't let me get off easy. There you go. But yeah, this is it. Like, this is genius. Like the big thing that Peter Thiel talks about is everything that you're trying to solve is a secret. And the way you solve the secret is by asking, how do I ABC? And then we're not doing anything crazy here. Like Steph is not coming up with the cure for cancer. But that's how everything is starts. It's like people who are solving the cure for cancer, they're just asking, how do we cure cancer? You have to have like the audacity. Again, this is not I'm not, equivocating the two. But you have to have the audacity to say, I refuse to accept I can't do this. How do I do this? That's it. That's why Steph is like making tonight very boring because she's done a great job of this. Look, every sticky note here is just her either saying, I'm working on this or I have an idea on how to solve it. And every idea, I'm loving every idea. That's why when I'm talking about referral programs, she's already like, oh, I've considered engagement scores already. That's what I want you guys to do in this program. Like, I become a soundboard. It makes my life really easy because you're just saying, I have an idea. Can I do this? And I'm like, this is genius. You have a great product here, Steph. I would say go all in with your calendar and your services. Fully commit because I think what you have there is good. It's decent. Have your follow-ups, have your sheets. I think that's going to help a lot with this. And here's what's cool, right? Anybody but Steph. Tell me where you see the most amount of purple. Anybody but Steph. These are trick questions. They're very complicated questions. Where do you guys see the purple?
At the bottom,
At the bottom. So hey Steph, your next project, it's the screen is telling you this is your next project. Let's say the full thing is purple. What do? You start at the beginning. That's it. That's it. But now she's worked her way through. You can start at the beginning. I always say start at the beginning and then start with your easy tasks, then go to your hard tasks. Because the easy tasks, you could do like 50 easy tasks and that could free up hours for your customer, days for your customer, right? Like automatic invoices, that could save you like 6 hours a week. They're going to feel that difference very quickly, right? And then you get to this part, it's like, this is manual. Okay, well, what if I did something that makes this? Maybe I can't remember, say so, automate, delegate, and then we go into the process, simplify, right? So if I can't automate it, looking at the purple, I can't delegate it, looking at the purple, but maybe I can make it simpler for you by importing all this information to a sheet and then having the automations built in. So you just swap here, here, here. So, how much time would that save them? How much headache would that save them? How many calculations would that save them, right? Or if they're doing everything pen and paper, it sounds like they've got a lot of abacus going on, right? That could save them a ton of time. And then Steph, when you're finished with this, when you go to do client number two, this is all you do for client number two. Ready? Copy everything you have here into a snapshot. You move it into client number two, and then you go and you look for everything that is specific to client number one, client A, right? And you're going to say, ooh, that's specific to client A. You turn that into a custom variable. And now everything that was specific to client A is a custom variable. Client three comes along. What do? You take client B's snapshot, you put it into client C's new snapshot. Now what do? All you have to do now is update the custom valuables or custom variables, custom values, right? That's all you have to update is your custom values. It cross-populates across your whole thing. And now what are you doing? You're just going in and saying, oh, I need to tweak the order of this, or I need to change the pricing description here. But nothing is specific to the previous businesses, right? Now it's like, okay, cool. This is done. All I have to do now is change the wait time, change the trigger, change the language, change this or that. Now you have a product that is truly customizable, not custom. Because I promise you, if you had this with this client, like think about how much faster client two is going to go. Think about how much faster client three is going to go. Because you're starting from here. How much you have to change, right? Pricing, package, detail packages, maybe integrations with any platforms, which will actually give you less work because you're just removing less things that you have to change on your side.
Can you help me out with this? I don't know if you're able to help me. So I have this issue, right, with when yes. So right now they're only giving me clients that they have members signed on. But what if there's a new member that signed on? How do they on the spot fill out a form that goes into the system? I know we can do that, but how do they not need to go into the system to like update the client details and things like that? Like, should I export it to Excel and then push the data back into the system, or how would you suggest I do that?
If they need to update client information,
So, like, okay, let's say I got a new client, right? And this client wants to be a member, want to buy a credit package or a session package, whatever it is, right? So do you suggest that I create a form, export it into that Excel sheet that they have?
I would do a client facing funnel, like upgrade to our membership. So then they can just say, oh, if you want to upgrade to our membership, go to this website.
It doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't work that way for in where we are right now. It's usually on the spot. Do you want to buy a package? Buy the package right now. And on the spot, they need to sign something to finish up the membership sign
Can
up.
you treat it like a product or an invoice? Like, oh, you want to do it right now? Here, add it as a product to your kiosk, or here's an invoice, like we can send it to you right now, and then they can mark it as paid. We can
Yeah,
add
we
them as
can
a
do that.
product.
But the thing is, the client needs to give us their name, their phone numbers, their date of birth, and things like that. And this is a form, right?
So here's where it gets a little fun, right? Because at some point, you're going to run out of things to automate before you have to have someone step in. And AI agents are going to eventually reduce this kind of workflow or
Mm-hmm.
workload rather and simplify the workflow. In the meantime, you can have like standalone VAs who you can say, hey, anything you want changed, all you have to do is WhatsApp us. And we're going to be on standby and we're going to do all this for you. Because if you're able to track the money you're bringing them in, you can say, hey, we're tracking this number. Now we can automate, memberships or we can upsell memberships, right? And we can, instead of you touching the system, we can have somebody dedicated that handles the system, right? But usually at this point, when you have some people interacting with the system where it's like more manual or more technical, that's where you want to do one of two things. Either A, use something like Tango.ai or ScribeHow to document how you would do it and then give them that SOP so they can literally just follow it. And then you can have people on their staff trained on how to use it. Or option B, you say, hey, you're not trained, but you have to reach out to the team via Slack or via WhatsApp, and then they will do everything for you. So then you can send us a voice note on WhatsApp saying, hey, this person wants to upgrade. We took payment for the product. Go ahead and add them in. And then the VA goes, sure, we'll do it. What I would recommend though is I would usually recommend having SOPs. Like this is like the part you do not with client one, not that you can't, but usually you see this starting to happen with client two and client three time wise, because that's where you start like your project is starting to get finished out, and then you're going back and documenting how to do everything. And then when you name your SOP, you name your SOP like how to add somebody to a membership or how to give somebody a membership, right? And then they can search how do I get someone to a membership, or they can read the titles. It's like adding someone to membership. It's like, oh, okay. And it's like step one, go here. And that's why I like Tango and ScribeHow because it's picture, right? It's like click here, go here. It's like dummy proof. So the business owner usually won't, sometimes you'll see the business owner who wants to do it, but usually what you'll see with salons is that either everybody's trained on it or just like the assistant manager is trained on it, for example. So if the salon owner is like, let's say older or stubborn, I would just say, hey, like usually you have somebody that you've identified that is more tech savvy, right? At the salon, like let's train them on it. And when you train them, it's just like, oh, what do I need to do? And they're like, I don't know how to do it. Whatever it is, you do it one time, use Tango, use ScribeHow, do it one time, go through the process, say, hey, I've done it for you, and here's a PDF so you don't have to ask me again. You can ask me again if you want. Like, I don't want you to feel like you can't reach out, but here's a training document so you can do it. You don't have to wait on me ever again. So you can do every process one time. It documents everything, and you never have to do it again for any customer ever. And it's a whole lot easier than trying to walk somebody through something. Way easier. And what's cool is when you get a new member, you can say, hey, new member, and then one of your automations can be adding them to your Google Doc SOP, your Google Drive SOP, or just sending them a copy of your SOPs. I like using Google Doc because it's dynamic. So high level has an update, I can update the doc, it just updated for everybody. You have a new product release, hey, new product release, go here to find it. That updates for everybody. You don't have to say download this, delete this, replace this, right? Then you're like getting frustrated with it. But yeah, that becomes and that's where like technology will become more efficient, right? As AI agents kind of evolve, they'll do less and less. And this is why niching down with that sub community is going to help you so much because if you are the go-to for nail techs, they're not going to say, "Oh, you don't do this." They're going to say, "Hey, how can we do this?" But what's actually going to happen is you're actually going to go to them and say, "Hey, there's new updates. Would you like us to add this for free?" And they're going to be like, "Yeah, less work for free? Sure." As high level evolves and with items that are not priced additionally, you can just go and be like, hey, here you go. We have a new update. Here you go. Like I said, for the automatic recurring invoices, I'm gonna go use that for my lawn care agency, right? The landscaping agency that um that I work with Grant on. I'm gonna go do that right away. That's gonna be like I sent it to Grant. I was like, dude, you see this? And he's like, sweet. That was like as soon as as a Sean dropped the video, I sent it over to him like an hour later. And so what you guys can do is you can then record a video, send it out to your users and say, hey, we have a new update. Hey, Alec coming at you, right? Like Sean does. Hey, Omar coming at you. Hey, Steph coming at you. Hey, Heather coming at you, right? I got a new update for you. If you want us to set this up, just reply and let me know. So every update they release, you can update and release to your community. But I think like just to wrap up like that nail tech piece that you have, I think it's beautiful. I love it. And you'll come up with variations. You can have like WhatsApp only clients. You'll have SMS clients. You'll have email client. You probably won't need email, but you'll probably just do SMS and email. If they have SMS, leave SMS. If they have email, leave email. Usually it's one of the, or not email, sorry, I keep saying email, WhatsApp. So SMS or WhatsApp. And just have, and then that's what you're gonna have. You're gonna have a client who goes, hey, we love this, but we don't use WhatsApp. Duplicate, go into WhatsApp, swap it all out for SMS. And guess what? Now you have two snapshots. Hey, do you guys use WhatsApp? And that becomes an onboarding question. Do you guys use WhatsApp or SMS? We use WhatsApp. Cool. You get this snapshot. We use SMS. Cool. You get this one. Or it's the same snapshot with just two folders. And one says, one is SMS, one is email. And then when you pop them open, exact same automations. Just one uses SMS, one uses email. And you can draft all the SMS, leave the email, leave the WhatsApp. You can draft all the WhatsApp, leave the SMS. Hey, we want to start adding both. All you got to do, publish them on. That's it. But you're like, your product is nice. And if you're documenting and tracking the revenue you're creating with those reports, add yourself as a recipient of those reports. After 5 months, you can see you were here, you were here, you were here, you were here. That's me. And then you have your case study. Here's how we took a nail salon from this to this in this time frame. Want proof? Reports from high level. Analytics from Google Business. It's literally packaged right there for you. Other nail salons are going to want that. And the fancier ones, the nicer ones, you know what they're going to want? They're not going to want to touch the system, or they're going to want you to train their whole team on it. Or they're going to want white label support, right? And white label support is not GHL or what's it called? HL Pros. It's not Extendly. We need someone who knows the system who can run it for us. That's a VA. That's a $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month ticket price. Again, anyone's like, that's a lot of money. It's cheaper than hiring one full-time person. We don't have that budget. That's fine. You have the DIY one where you still have me if you have questions, right? But yeah, your Steph, your product is nice. Finish your follow-up, your reminders, your follow-ups if they leave. Make sure you have the tracking so you can track the amount of cash you're closing for them. So in your opportunities, make sure you have like when it's closed, when it's won, the pricing, right? You know how to do that with the custom values, the invoice paid values, right? Things like that, product paid values. Make sure you're tagging the people that you're closing yourself. Definitely go and clean up your automations. That'd be the big thing so we can find those faster. That's really the only point of improvement I have. If you just clean up your automations, you can find it faster and you can just the rest you already know how to do. Your engagement scores, I would use that for your referral in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, that's nice. That's a nice product. That's a really nice product. And I don't know anything about WhatsApp automations because I don't use WhatsApp. But anybody who is like outside of the US or even in the US, but maybe Asian, Latin American, South American, that's a huge WhatsApp community. Caribbean, that's a huge like everybody but the US uses WhatsApp basically. I think West Europe is a little SMS friendly too, but even them they have WhatsApp. So that product is a really good product, Steph.
Yeah, WhatsApp is very dominant here as well.
Yeah.
And actually, with the setup, right, it's actually SMS as the lead connector part. So we're not using the WhatsApp system. It's being so when we set it up in terms of the flow, it's SMS. So it will trigger the WhatsApp, which is connected to the WhatsApp. So essentially,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. But think about it, like looking back, this is what I keep trying to tell everybody, right? And I'm happy that Steph has done it because I've worked with a lot of other agencies and industries. So usually I see, but I told Steph, I'm like, listen, I'm not in the nail salon. So and what I told her and what you guys can now see live, you can go back and watch the other calls. Steph, didn't I tell you there's gonna be when the moment you pick this industry, you're gonna pass me a knowledge on it? Steph is gonna be better at setting up the WhatsApp than me. She's gonna be better at the integration than me. She knows the automation. She has to explain to me how she has it set up because I don't understand it. You guys are seeing in live time why niching down is so crucial because Steph is now past everybody on this call, everybody watching this call, anybody who's ever going to watch this call. She's now passed everybody with the nail tech solution. Everybody. Who do you think, if a nail tech has a conversation with Alec or Steph, who do you think they're going to want to talk with? It's a no brainer. Now you have a conversation with Alec versus the guy who goes, oh, I help local businesses. Lost, gone. I'm dominating. I'm ripping you apart. Bye bye. But Alec has a conversation with Steph, and I've been doing this a lot longer than Steph. She's already passed me in that aspect. She gets a case, she has a product and a case study. I'm in the dust. I'm done for. I'm playing catch up. And if she just continues serving that sub community of nail salon nail salon owners, there's no catching up. I have to spend a lot of money and get way better results. I'm starting from a handicapped position, right? I'm starting way in the back. The only way I'm catching up is like, you guys ever play golf where they give you like a handicap because you're so bad at the game? Like we're gonna give you 3 extra swings because you're so bad. You're playing Steph, and Steph is Tiger Woods, right? Yeah, your product is great, Steph. Because here's what's cool: when I'm playing catch up, if anybody wants to play catch up with Steph, you know what Steph's gonna be doing in the time that you're playing catch up? She's gonna be learning how do I add CloseBot to this. And then when you're learning CloseBot and she's already have that, she's gonna be like, oh, how do I add the AI agents that are coming out in 2025, 2026 to this? And then when you're learning that, she's gonna be ahead of everybody. You guys have to niche down. And for anyone thinking like, I need to develop a product first. Steph, did you develop a product first or did you talk with a client first?
I take a snapshot.
You took my snapshot, but then how did you make it the snapshot that I can't even compare with?
Yeah, I asked basically just for whatever you said, ask them a lot of questions.
Just be curious about their process. And the process becomes the map. The map tells you what you can do. The map tells you what you don't know how to do. And what you don't know how to do, you find out how to do it.
Mm.
The first client is always the hardest because look at how much you had to build. Second client is going to be half as hard. Third client is going to be a third or a quarter hard because that's where you start building out your SOPs. But the product is just copy, copy, copy. And then what'll be cool, and you'll see this next stuff, client B, client C, client D, client E. You might work with client F, build something and be like, oh, you know what? Client B would love that. Hey, client B, do you want this? And you'll be like, yeah, how much? No, included. And what do you think they're going to do when client Z comes over and goes, client B, who do you use? We only use Steph. Oh, you could set it up for cheaper. No, we're not doing that. We tried that. Heck no, we go through Steph. Oh, can I meet Steph? Yeah, here's her information. Hey, I'm a or nail salon owner in, I don't know, Idaho. I saw your YouTube video about how you helped XYZ company get results. I want to do that. Like, can you do that for me? What does that look like, right? I'm telling you, you've done the hard part, Steph. Like, you've done the hardest part. And for anybody who's like, how do I pick a niche? Watch this, because I already know the answer. Steph, how did you pick nail techs?
Just happened.
Did you have any connections in nail techs?
So it's my nail salon. Like I go to this nail tech.
She goes to it. She just talked to him.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember the story I tell all the time? Who was my first client? Lawn care. What lawn care? The guy mowing my lawn. Just go outside and talk to him. Do you think I'm like, I've never been on a mower, never started a mower. Steph, I don't know if you're really good with nails or maybe you couldn't care less. She couldn't care less. But I promise you, when she just said the smile on her face when she said the nail tech guys paid her up front without her asking, I promise she's gonna start loving nail tech in a few months, right? She's not doing anything unethical, immoral. They're paying her. And now what's funny is I bet you she knows way more about nails now than she did 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Look at all the service calendars you just put together, right? I didn't even know there's that many services out there. And you're like, oh no, if they do that, and look how you were talking to me in the beginning. Well, if they want to book this and then they want to book this with this add-on, I'm like, I don't even know what half these things she's saying is. So you're becoming more and more entrenched in the space. And here's the last question I'll ask Steph to really drive my point home. Because I tell you guys this all the time and it goes in one ear, out the other. So I'll reference smarter people. Let me reference somebody newer. Steph, how would you feel if I told you, well, let me ask you, what would be easier? To work with Nail Tech 2 or to restart in a new space?
For sure, working with nail tech again. Yeah.
And then I have people come to me, chest all puffed up. Oh, I can work with any client ever. You can, but how long would it take you to rebuild that product for a different company, Steph? Like just ballpark. Well, yeah, she's like she's having the PTSD flashback, right?
I'm still work in progress to be honest.
She's still working. So for her to restart is going to set her back so much further. But for her to just duplicate exactly what she has, change the custom values to the new company, adjust the pricing and the descriptions and the copy, she could probably do that in, is a week ridiculous?
No, yeah, it's totally doable. Yeah.
Completely doable for her to repeat this in a week. Imagine if she closed one client a week just on what she had, how much faster she could make the money versus I have to restart with every new client. And as she gets case studies, you think she can charge more or less? More. Why? Because it's proven results. I always look at the take like a gambling odds, right? I'm not, please don't go gamble, but look at gambling odds. Would you rather 20% chance that you'll make 10K or 80% chance that you'll make 50K? Obviously, you're going to take 80% chance you'll make 50K over 20% chance you'll make 10K. Now, if I say the lottery ticket is $1 for 10K or $2 for 80% chance of 50K, would you pay double? Yeah. What if I do 2 and 4? What if I do 4 and 8? What if I do 8 and 16? What if I do 200 a month versus 400 a month? Just for the ticket, 200 for 20% at 10K or 400 for 80% of 50. You're going to go with the 80% at 50K all day. All right. Go watch Squid Games, right? We're all degenerates. All right. No, I'm just kidding. But that's the whole point. If you have better odds, you're going to take those better odds. Case studies imply greater odds. And last question I'll bother Steph with. Steph, with what percent like guarantee in your mind, probability, what percent probability could you duplicate your exact process?
With nail techs,
Yeah. Like what you have right now, how certain are you that you could replicate it 100%? Like fully?
100%.
100%?
Yeah.
Because she's already done it. So how much less like, and Steph, can you kind of see like how like client 5, client 10, client 20 is going to be as simple as duplicating, updating certain fields?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the onboarding. That's going to be what you'll do around client 5 or 6 is going to be, okay, how do I now automate my onboarding and hand that off to somebody else to do that work? Because I've put in my blood, sweat, tears, and frustration.
Mm.
You've done everything right, Steph. You're on the path perfectly.
I've got a great teacher, so
And all I'm doing for you guys is I'm just saying, let the client teach you, right? I'm like, sit down, shut up, stop thinking you have the idea, get out of your head, go talk to people. They will tell you everything they want to do. I'll say this and we'll wrap up our call. I had this conversation with a client, the client I was working with earlier, and she's married, right? So she's married, and I spoke with her and her husband. He had to jump for a call, and I was speaking with her, and I was telling her in the States, is anybody familiar with the show Wife Swap? It's like a very American show, right? It's very, very American. It's awful. Yeah, and I have the video coming out for that call later next week, early next week. Sorry, early next week. It is a long call though, but it shows the full agency setup. But on the show Wife Swap, what happens is the husbands swap, and then all hell breaks loose. like 9 out of 10 times, all hell breaks loose, right? And let me Heather, are you married? Or are you okay? Do you mind if I bother you with questions?
Not at all.
Great. So I'll prove my point. Let's say I'm married, Heather's married. If I swap with Heather's husband, and then what they do is it's like all the chores and the work, right? Heather, what's a chore that your husband does exclusively?
Cleans the garage, the basement, those kind of things. I don't
So,
know.
let me ask you, what's a chore that you do exclusively? That if he does, you're like, get out of my way.
Cleaning the kitchen or bathrooms.
Perfect. Notice, see how fast you had that answer ready to go, right? There's some trauma in that, right? That's the thing
Yes.
only a married couple can know, right? So let's say
Yep.
we do wife swap and I'm home all day. I'm used to cleaning the kitchen for my wife and she loves it. I go to do, oh, well, my wife loves it. I wonder if Heather would love it. And Heather comes in and she's like, what have you done? Don't touch
No.
my dishes. Don't. And I'm like, I was trying to help out. And you're like, you're hurting out. You're not helping out. You're hurting out. That's why we don't swap niches if you're doing
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I think I lost you guys again.
Uh-oh. He
We have
did.
five,
We lost him.
we have 5 seconds to make fun of him again.
We lose him again.
Did great work, Steph.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I'm not that far yet.
On his back.
I'm alive. Yeah, Zoom
Oh,
is
it
Zoom
says he's
is happy
hosting
with me.
again. Here we go.
His wife did not kill him for putting the dishes
Zoom
in
is.
the wrong place.
Yeah, I know. I know. I thought I got a blow dart from Heather. But the point is, if I swap industries and I do what I think this other person likes, it's not going to go well, right?
Right.
You could call it wife swap, you could call it husband swap, you could call it whatever swap, right? It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
We call it niche swap. If I swapped into from landscaping and lawn care into nail tech, I'm going to ruin it. If I put Steph, who has a great product, into landscaping and lawn care, she's going to ruin it. It doesn't mean that
Right.
I'm a loser. It doesn't mean that she's a loser. It just means that you have these pre-established relationships that the benefit of those relationships. And let me ask you, Heather, how long have you been with your spouse, if you don't mind sharing?
We've been together 30 years, married 22.
So, how many inside jokes do you think they have? How many memories do you think they have? How many fights do you think they've had? How many pleasant vacations or trips do you think they've had? How many
Hmm.
times, if they have kids, how many funny stories do you think they have about the kids or about this or that, right? My wife and I
Right.
have been together in total about 8 years, right? So
Hmm.
we have way more than a brand new couple. We have way less than Heather and her spouse, right? That's the beauty of niching down. You're going to have way
Right.
more knowledge. You're going to have way more relationships. You're going to have way more connection. You're going to have way more people saying, go look at them. They're a great couple. Go look at him. He's great with landscaping. Go look at Steph. She's great with nail techs. So when you're committing to that niche, and Heather, you can answer this too, right? Maybe not out loud in case, you get a blow dart from the husband, but it's way easier to it's very easy, not way easier. It's very easy for people to say, oh, the grass is always greener. But restarting is a lot of work, right? I'm not saying there's not a time to cut bait. I'm not saying that,
Right.
but restarting is a lot of work. And so when you're fully committed to that person, whoever you're committed to, like whatever space you're committed to, there are going to be pain points that you're stuck, that you have to be like Steph, make a sticky note and say, how do I handle this? There's probably
Yep.
times that Heather and her spouse were probably like either how do we fix something between us or how do we fix something external like finances, property, kids, right? Medical, whatever.
Right.
It doesn't matter what industry you pick, just like it doesn't matter what spouse you pick, you're going to have problems. The question is, can you work through those problems? Number one. And number two, is it worth it to work through that problem, right? So obviously, if you're
Right.
in a relationship and you're being abused, obviously get out of there. If you're in an industry where everybody hates you and there's not ticket enough, and you're seeing that you hate the space, obviously get out of there. But you're dogs, but you're gonna have that experience where it really is a matter of how committed can you be to work through it because you're gonna have problems no matter what you do. But we'll go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate you coming out, guys. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. But Steph, great snapshot. Really, really good stuff. Build out your sheet, build out your customer engagement, and look at some referral review ideas. I would do like your 1, 2, 3 visits to really make sure they're locked in. And you can even do a case study on that. How many visits before they're locked in, right? But I think you have a great product. Really, really good stuff. But we'll go ahead and wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're on YouTube watching and you want to be part of these calls, SASO University, you can join free as an affiliate or upgrade, and you can come to the calls. We do them twice a week. And if you're not like Steph and your product does suck, let me know, and we can actually build it out in the call. Steph is just making me look bad. But I had a call earlier today, built it out. So if you guys want me to help build out a product, shoot me a message. If you're in SASO, if you're like, hey, I want to build ABC, all you need to do is bring your map like Steph has. If you have the map, I will help you build it out. So have your map, bring it. We're good to go. But enjoy your night, guys. Appreciate you coming out.